Yeah, it's such an important topic because mentors can be so very influential in our lives. Um, and I love the quote that says, "If I can see farther, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants." So if I can see farther, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. Such a great quote, and I really think that kind of defines what a mentor can be and how a mentor can influence you. And recently, this topic has become more top of mind for me. A couple of weeks ago, I had the opportunity to co-teach a course with my dear friend, Dr. Paul Henney, and it was on the concept of co-discovery. We did a 2-day workshop on the whole art and science of co-discovery and how co-discovery can be used successfully in your practice. And co-discovery is a concept that was largely influenced by some of the real leaders in our profession, including Bob Barkley. Now, if any of you aren't familiar with Bob Barkley, I would like to help you become familiar with him. Bob Barkley is just a tremendous, can be a mentor for all of us, though posthumously now. Sadly, we lost Bob Barkley in 1977 in a plane crash. And if I can share with you how strongly I feel about his influence, here we are in 2023, and in many ways, we're still trying to catch up to where Bob Barkley was in 1977 when he passed at the age of 46. If you'd like to learn more about Bob Barkley, I would encourage you to become a member of the private Facebook group, the Bob Barkley Study Club. This was created by my friend, Dr. Paul Henney. It's a private Facebook group. You have to request admittance, but just let, in the question you answer, just say, hey, Gary referred you to the Thriving Dentist Show, referred you, and Paul will let you in. And it's just a great group. But in the workshop that we did, it was Paul talked about some of Bob Barkley's history, and I'm going to read a quote here. Said, "We have all enjoyed the benefit of many teachers and influence over the course of our practicing life and beyond. Bob Barkley had many as well, including, now listen to some of these people: Dr. L.D. Pankey, Dr. F. Harold Worth, Nate Cohen, Paul Keyes, Sumter Arnon, Chris Agres, Avram King, Chuck Sorensen, Omer Reed, Don Clifton, Dwayne Furman, and others. Now, if you know anything about clinical dentistry or psychology, the group that I just named are literally at the top of the class in either clinical dentistry or psychology, and specifically in the behavioral side of dentistry. And so you can see how all of those mentors help to develop the way Bob Barkley thought about things. And I just wanted to kind of use that as motivation to start thinking about, your own mentors and the mentors that you have in your life. And mentors can be physical. That can be someone you actually meet with, physically. I still think of Dr. L.D. Pankey as a mentor in my life. He passed away in 1989. However, I still think of him as a mentor in my life, posthumously, through his writings, through his teaching, through his videos, through his book. So we can have mentors who are no longer with us. They don't have to necessarily be in physical form. Dr. Pete Dawson is another one I absolutely think of as a mentor in my life. Pete's gone, but he's still a mentor. Another one from outside of dentistry, and Darren, if I ask you to name my favorite author, who would that be?
Dale Carnegie? Oh, Stephen
author,
Covey?
Stephen Covey.
Stephen Covey,
yeah. Dale Carnegie's right there, but Stephen Covey would have to be my favorite author. Although we lost Stephen Covey in 2014, he's still a massive influence and mentor in my life through his work. So who are your mentors? Think about that. And let's come back to the concept I introduced when we were talking about the masterclass. It's all about being intentional, intentional. There's some dentists that aren't really intentional about their CE. They just wait to see when a course comes up, or they get a flyer, or they see something on Facebook, and then that looks interesting, and then they go. And there's nothing wrong with pursuing your CE that way. Nothing wrong with that. But I might suggest that you may get better results if you pursue your CE very intentionally, very intentionally. And in fact, one of the things we do, one of our systems that we work with our clients is to always have a 3-year CE plan for our clients, a 3-year CE plan. So 2023, 2024, 2025. And every year, so coming up when we finish 2023, I ask my client to create it for the next year, which would be 2026. So you always have a 3-year plan. And that's for the big C. That's not necessarily for the everyday stuff, but that's for the big CE that you want to pursue. And one of the things I ask my clients to do is to think about how do they want to use CE as perhaps a credentialing value, a way to credential. Is it something you'd like to achieve relative to your CE? You know, do you want to become, do you want to earn a fellowship in the Academy of General Dentistry? Do you want to earn a mastership in the Academy of General Dentistry? Do you want to become accredited by the AACD? Do you want to earn a fellowship in an implant society? Do you want to, you know, there's all kinds of achievements that you can earn based on what your clinical interests are. You know, what are the high value services you want to add in your practice? So again, talk about being intentional. How would you like your treatment mix to be based on where your interests are? Instead of just based on whatever shows up in your practice, how would you like what would you like the composition of your treatment mix to be? To be very intentional. Is adult orthodontics something you're interested in? And if that was it, where would you go? If learning how to restore dental implants is something you'd like to pursue, where would you go for that? Who do we seek out as mentors on that? Maybe you would actually like to at some point get to a point where you place and restore implants. Well, where do you want to pursue that? Naren, I'm going to bring you into this and talk a little bit about how this can actually work in your favor in terms of marketing and getting listed on page 1 of Google, because in fact, one of the things that Google cares about, Google loves acronyms. They're the acronym king. Google is, and one of the acronyms is called EAT, EAT, just like it sounds. And what that means is expertise, authority, trust. Explain how earning credentials can not only enhance the level of service you deliver for your patients, but can enhance the likelihood you get found on page 1 when someone's looking for a particular kind of service.
Absolutely. So Google algorithms look at 6 things primarily. If you do extremely well in those 6 areas, you are in the top of Google and you get a lot of free traffic, which, you know, gives you a competitive advantage because your cost of acquiring those patients will be a fraction versus Google Ads.
And just to clarify, you know, we're talking about SEO, organic SEO. Organic means you're not paying for it.
Right.
Now, there's 2 ways to get on page 1 of Google. One way is to pay for it.
Yes.
That's called pay-per-click or Google Ads.
Right.
And anybody can pay for it and get on page 1. Or you can earn it organically, meaning that you didn't pay for it, but you earned the ranking. And as a result of you earning the ranking, you show up on page 1. I might politely suggest that while we can play the pay-per-click game, most dentists don't have enough money to play that game really well.
Yeah, it is like 5 to 10 times more expensive than, you know, getting traffic for free through Google, because, you know, Google last year, I think, made 224 billion. Last quarter, they made 78 billion. So they are on track to do like 280 billion. I mean, they used to be, you know, make more money than 150 countries. Now they're going to make more money than probably like 170 countries. It's just crazy how much money Google Ads makes for Google. So of course, the way they do that is to charge you more money per click. And so you just like, you keep paying more and more and more for less and less results through Google Ads. Anyways, to answer your question, Gary, so one of those 6 things you need to master to get on page 1 for free through SEO is Google EAT. And Google EAT, E stands for expertise, A for authority, and T for trust. Expertise is defined as your qualification. So let's say you have a mastership from the Academy of General Dentistry. That's a qualification. You should highlight it, and Google, you know, will value that. And if they have a choice between ranking somebody who doesn't have that qualification versus somebody who does, the one who has that qualification has a little bit of a leg up. Of course, that alone is not enough, but it definitely helps. So any kind of qualifications that that gives you a designation of some sort, then of course you should pursue it. But I do come back to Gary's point, which is, don't do it for the sake of doing it. Don't do it because everybody else is doing it. Do it because you love it. Do it because it's something you want to do. It's something you set an intention and it's important to you. So like really thinking about who is my mentor, who is, what kind of qualifications do I want to have? What kind of dentistry do I want to do? I think all those are really good questions.